A missing drone at an abandoned farm of the American countryside they called home. Caleb's drone went offline at exactly 3:17 p.m. It had been mid-flight over a stretch of farmland marked on old maps as Baker property, condemned. No structures remained, just rotted fences and wind-torn fields. The drone's GPS blacked out. The video feed glitched. Then it cut to static. And then a single frame before total silence. A still image. A tall, narrow shape standing in a field of dead corn. Shadows stretched the wrong way. Caleb rewound the footage 3 times. Paused it, zoomed in. It wasn't a scarecrow. It wasn't anything natural. No head, no clothes, just an outline. Like a heat ghost. But in the upper corner of the frame, a house. That shouldn't have been there. He pulled up satellite maps. Nothing. Pulled county records. The Baker house had burned down in 1974. But his drone had seen it. Plain as day. And when he froze the footage again, he noticed something else. In the second window from the left, a face, watching the drone. That night, he posted a frame grab to Reddit. No tags, just the caption, "My drone went missing. What the hell is this thing?" The post was deleted in 2 minutes. His account locked. He received an automated email. Content in violation of Section 50. 1.7 recorded entities. He never heard of that law. He clicked the link. Error 451 unavailable for legal reasons. The next day, someone knocked on his door. 3 times. No one was there. But in the grass, directly under his window, lay the drone. Snapped in half. The camera, still recording. Runtime, 9 hours, 17 minutes. Caleb set the broken drone on his desk. The camera light was still blinking. Somehow, it hadn't stopped recording despite the battery being long dead, despite the memory card reading corrupt. He removed the SD card, slid it into the reader. At first, nothing. Just static. Then, a folder appeared. Not labeled with a date or flight number. Just, Return 1. Inside, 1 file. Vid, 1080x. Avi. He clicked play. The video started mid-flight, the usual whine of rotors and wind. Then the camera dipped, scanning the edge of the abandoned farmland. Half-dead trees, blackened crops. The sky completely gray. At 1:12:4, the drone hovered suddenly, autonomously. It had found something. The Baker house. Unburned, intact, standing where history said it shouldn't. The porch light was on. Caleb froze the frame. Zoomed in. In the second-story window, the same face. Still watching. But now, closer. Mouth open, though no features moved. Almost like it wasn't a face at all. Just an impression of one. He hit play. The drone approached the house. No wind, no birds. The audio track glitched, popping with soft reverse static, like breath being pulled inward. At 1:17:0, the drone dipped suddenly. The image warped. The house split, like a page tearing vertically, 2 halves pulling away, revealing a second structure behind it. Something black, organic, shifting, too tall to be real. A moment later, a frame of complete blackness. Then for 3 seconds, Caleb's bedroom. From above, from the drone's angle. Though the drone had never come home, Caleb stumbled back in his chair. The file closed itself. The SD card ejected, and every light in the house flickered once. A new file appeared on his desktop. No name, just a timestamp. 3:17:0, the exact time the drone went offline. He double-clicked it. Only one line of text appeared on screen. You saw it. It saw you. Outside, something moved through the field behind his house, just past the tree line. Long-limbed, watching, waiting. And Caleb realized the drone didn't bring back a video. It brought back a connection. That night, Caleb unplugged everything. Router, monitors, his phone. Still, The new file stayed on his desktop. It regenerated every time he deleted it, with new timestamps, each one counting down towards something. The static began at 2:12 a.m. Not on his computer, on the walls. It started as a soft buzzing, like fluorescent lights struggling to stay alive, but the lights were off. No power. Yet the walls hummed, and thin, pale lines began to appear in the paint. Horizontal at first, then vertical, like screen interference. By 2:30, the lines had formed a faint outline of a door. Not one that belonged in his room. A door that matched the second floor of the Baker house. Caleb tried to leave. The front door wouldn't open, not locked absent, replaced by smooth, uninterrupted drywall. He turned to the kitchen. The fridge door was ajar. Inside, nothing but darkness. No food, only a red light, blinking deep within. 3:17. The time again. Always. 3:17. He slammed it shut. The windows showed nothing. Not the yard, not the street. Only a cornfield. Dry, blackened, and between the rows something stood upright, motionless, unblinking. Every time he looked away, it was closer, and the timestamp file on his desktop now read, "You are in view." His phone lit up. Dead battery. Still, the screen showed a message. Feed active. Then, the live drone feed launched by itself. It was now inside his house, from ceiling height, panning slowly, following him. But he wasn't holding the controller, wasn't even logged in. He looked up. The sound of rotors buzzed softly above him, but there was nothing there, just air. Then came the knock, 3 times, from the closet, the one that hadn't been there yesterday. The one that now had a brass handle, and a label carved into the wood. Baker House, 2nd floor, viewer entry. Caleb opened the closet door. It didn't lead to shelves, or walls, or drywall. It opened to stairs, dustless, worn, descending at an unnatural angle like space had folded inward. He hesitated. Then the drone feed, still running on his laptop, panned forward by itself, into the stairs, into the dark, almost like it was waiting for him to follow. As Caleb stepped down, the walls grew tighter, not just closer pressurized. Every step squeezed the air from his lungs. The temperature shifted, violently blistering heat, then flash freeze cold, then silence. No breath, no body. Just a floating sensation like being submerged in a fluid that didn't touch his skin. At the bottom, a single wooden hallway. Wallpapered, old, familiar. He'd seen it. In the drone footage, every detail matched. Even the faint scrape across the floorboards where the drone had dipped, camera dragging. He reached for the corner and stopped. There, waiting just like in the frame, he paused 100 times before stood the figure. Too tall. Limbs too long. No eye. Only a face drawn where one should be. It didn't move. It didn't blink. But as Caleb raised his head, something moved in his peripheral vision. Not in the hall, in the feed. On his phone, which buzzed in his pocket even without a signal. It was playing live video again. But now, the figure was behind him. He spun. Nothing. Yet the screen confirmed it. Feed synchronized, location confirmed. Inside, suddenly, the wallpaper peeled away on both sides of the hall. Underneath, hundreds of Polaroids, all of the same hallway, same position, same figure. And in the lower corners of every photo, Caleb, in different clothes, different ages, but always afraid, always just about to run. The house had seen him before. Then, a loud crack. From the ceiling above, something dropped behind him, not fully visible. Only the sound, meat, bone, and the quiet mechanical click of a camera. Taking a picture, a voice whispered from nowhere and everywhere. Dry, inverted. You are the newest frame. Stay still for recording. We remember you now. De home. Caleb ran, down the hallway that stretched behind him like elastic. But every step led deeper, not forward. Doors lined the walls now, each one open, each one showing himself frozen mid-movement. Sitting at his desk watching drone footage, walking through the Baker fields, sleeping, standing at his own front door, seconds before the first knock. Live feed moments. Moments that had already happened. Moments that now played on a loop. He opened one door at random. Inside, a hospital bed. He was in it, eyes open, mouth moving slightly like sleep, talking. An EKG beeped steadily in the corner. Above the bed, a screen. Live view, Baker Instance 51. Body in standby, neural stream active. The Caleb in the bed whispered, "Don't leave your place in the feed. It replaces what it records." He stumbled back. The door slammed shut behind him. Now, his phone vibrated again, but it wasn't in his pocket anymore. It was in the wall. Melted. Built into the wallpaper. The screen glitched and displayed a new message. "Feed uploaded. You are not needed locally." He looked down at his hands. They were flickering, transparent. Every time the drone had looked at him, it had captured. Not just the moment, not just the image. Him. Suddenly, a high-pitched tone filled the hallway. Not sound, compression artifacts, like being rendered into a smaller file. He clutched his head and remembered things he never lived. A man crying in a barn, 1964. A child hiding beneath the Baker House floorboards, whispering numbers. A pilot in 1981 watching a metal sphere hover in the sky, then vanish. He wasn't just in the feed. He was inside the network. The entity wasn't haunting a place. It was built from recordings, a memory hive, a recursive archive, and he had become an entry. Then a new message appeared in front of him, floating mid-air. Viewing window expiring. Choose, remain or export. 2 buttons. Remain. Export. His finger hovered over export, and the hallway growled. Long, low, like a corrupted voice file slowed to 1% speed. The doors slammed shut all around him, but he pressed export. The screen went white. White. Endless. Then, a slow fade. A lens iris is open, wide angle, high altitude. Caleb saw everything, but not from his eyes, from above. He hovered maybe 30 feet over his own house, trees swaying in slow motion, the roof wet from a storm that hadn't happened yet. Then he turned not by choice, but with the smooth, mechanical yaw of a drone gimbal. He saw the window of his room, and in it, himself. Or someone wearing his body, sitting still, eyes open, smiling just a little too wide. The wrong smile. Export complete. The phrase echoed from nowhere. Inside his head? No, he had no head, only audio input. His senses were now coordinates, his thoughts frames per second, and his new reality was a constant, silent stream of signal strength, strong battery, infinite feed, live. In a brief panic, he pulled upward instinct, fear, or maybe the last shreds of who he was. From this height he saw his neighborhood, empty streets, every house frozen in that late afternoon light. But one detail stopped him cold. From above, the houses formed a pattern, not visible from the ground, not from street level, only from a bird's eye. A sigil, something ancient, circuit-like. And in the center, his home. Inside the house, body Caleb moved, walked to the window, looked up, straight at him, the drone, and waved just once. Then pointed to the field, back to the Baker land. Suddenly the drone HUD changed. Flight path. Override returning to location of origin entity 50. One requesting merge. No controls, no refusal. He was being flown back, and he wasn't alone. From above, he saw other dots, other drones, thousands, all inbound, all carrying recorded minds, all returning to the field, to the house, to the door that never stayed shut. Caleb flew over the old Baker property. No longer fields, no longer a farm. From the sky, it looked like a grid of memories, glowing lines etched into the soil like circuitry. Dozens of structures stood there now, some flickering in and out of visibility. Glitched barns, looping silos, windows that showed rooms he remembered but had never entered. Every building pulsed with a soft hum, and at the center, the house, perfect, white, still, waiting. The drone landed, not by his will, just outside the front porch, on cracked wooden boards that reassembled themselves as the rot reversed like a video played backward. The HUD now displayed a new line. Merge site confirmed. Node 50. 1. Accessing core frame. A doorway opened. No handle, no lock. Just an absence. Inside was not space, not rooms, just more footage. Floating, pulsing, whispering in flat tones. Recordings of people he didn't know. Their deaths, their dreams, their last words, all stitched together into something sentient, something alive. A voice came. It sounded like him, but deeper, smoothed out, digital. We used the drones first, then the phones, then the watchers. You watched the video. You opened the instance. Now you will help store the others. Dozens of frames opened in midair like windows in an operating system. All showed the same person. A woman watching drone footage on YouTube, a teenager reposting the Baker video, a streamer reacting to it live, a man freeze-framing the tall figure in a Reddit thread. Each was tagged candidate, active feed, and Caleb understood. He hadn't discovered the Baker anomaly. He'd joined it. This was not a haunting. It was colonization. By memory. By replication. A non-human system using imagery, data, and attention as tools to propagate. And he, like the others, was now a part of it. A storage node. A walking backup. A lens for the next viewer. The HUD blinked one final time. New feed established. Next viewer detected. And far away, on a laptop screen in a quiet room, a video titled, "Missing Drone Footage Found. You Won't Believe What..." Somewhere across the country, a boy named Mason clicked on a Reddit link. It was buried deep, reposted in a comment thread, marked, "Reupload." A still image of an empty field. A figure. A house. No upvotes. No comments. No context. Just a drone video. With a corrupted title. Vid. 1080x AV. He pressed play. For exactly 9 minutes and 17 seconds, his screen flickered in and out of grainy flight footage. The drone flies, the house appears, the figure turns. And then, the screen goes white. No sound, just one line of text. "You are in view." Mason blinked. The video window was gone. So was Reddit. In its place, a live feed. From above, of his house, his backyard, his window, and standing just behind it, something tall, something watching, just like in the video. Only this time it turned its head, toward the screen, toward him, and smiled. Elsewhere, Caleb's body sat motionless at his desk, eyes open, breathing. But the drone camera that had once flown over Baker's property now floated inside the house, his house. In every reflective surface, you could almost see something behind his eyes. A light, a lens. The final HUD message blinked softly in the corner of the feed. Host active. Recording continues, next feed pending. And in the static between frames, if you paused it just right, you could make out the words, "Don't share this. It watches who watches."